and this is brought to you by Just Another Mobile Monday. So let's get started. So starting along the right now, we have the hold switch, which should toggle an on-screen reaction, but I turned the Walkman off. There we go. And along the right we have the volume rocker. The top, left, and back sides are actually completely clear. And I mean, I know this is this looks like it's quite messed up right now, but it's really just because of the harsh light I'm having to use for this video. Overall, the brushed metal finish on this Walkman is really not very much of a fingerprint magnet. I mean, the screen still is, but can't help that. Along the bottom now we have the noise cancelling switch here, which once toggled shows you that it's on right there. The dock connector is a proprietary one from Sony. Looks like this. And then this little earphone jack right here. And you'll notice it's not completely round like most other ones. It's got this little space for a nub right there. And that's because the earphones that come with this are noise cancelling, like I said earlier. And they've actually got a special nub right here. So they can't actually be used with any other players. Although you can plug any earphones you want right into this Walkman. So let's move on and just touch upon the earphones a bit. So this is what they look like, and so they got that standard rubber nub at the end, and you can see this sort of got this this hook to them, so that they fit in your ears quite nicely, and you can always tell which one goes where, left and right. And on the back here is where you have the microphone for the noise cancelling options. Alright, now for the device itself. So you can always turn it on by just a quick press. And so navigation is alright. It's with the D-pad here. And you have the back button to back out of menus. And if I go into one all the way, you can back out by just holding down, and you'll end up on this home screen, which is where everything's at. And at any time during any menu, you can always press this option button to check out the different little menus you can go into. So let's go right into music playback. Sorry, just getting the camera angle right. So here we have, let's try Ace Young. So this is what your standard play screen looks like. Along the bottom you can see the progression here, but you can't see remaining time. I've been looking for a way to find that, but the best I can seem to do is hit the options menu and go to detailed information. You can see the bitrate and the total song time. In terms of album art, you have to bring up the menu and go to album art itself. It's pretty big, but it seems like a bit of an afterthought to have to pull down and scroll down to this. So if you're looking for that iPhone or iPod type experience there, I mean, this is definitely different. In terms of music sorting and whatnot, you could see earlier that you can do artist, album, and all the usual stuff. And in terms of sorting by letter, this is where something I think Sony could improve, because as you can see, along the top here you have A to G, H to N, which I can toggle with left to right, with left and right clicks. But to get to something like just the letter F maybe, I actually have to scroll down manually here just to get to it, and the acceleration as you hold down is actually pretty drastic, so it does take a bit of getting used to, and I do wish there was a bit more of a precise way of getting to certain letters. In terms of that, there is this initial search here, which you can use to go to F, or any letter you want really, but even that is just a bit too cumbersome. It's a bit, I basically just wish that it was a faster way to do this. Now let's go on to the channels. So, well, for one thing, actually, let's go to Intelligent Shuffle first. So there is the normal shuffle mode that you can see in any MP3 player, but there's also this cute little time machine shuffle which you activate, and it'll pick a year and just start and make a little playlist. I can see I have 72 songs from this year, and it'll make a playlist out of all the ones from that year. And while you're here, if you want to see all the other stuff from, let's say, Michael Bublé, you can actually just scroll down to him while you're playing the song. There we go. and you can see all the albums he has, etc. And at any time in any menu, you can always go back to the now playing list by hitting the options key and just go in there. Now let's check out a different feature here. The channels. So this one's a pretty interesting one. I'm not sure if I can get the icon. It's glowing so brightly there. But it almost looks like a bit like a podcast one, although that one's down here. Now the idea of the channels is that it'll analyze your music and sort it in little mini channels to based on what you might be wanting or feeling at the moment. So if you're in the mood for an upbeat song, it has these 30 songs that's analyzed from all the songs in the Walkman. Now these songs are analyzed either through the software on the computer. Sony has a disc for you, so you can actually transfer songs right from iTunes, and they'll already be sorted into these channels. Or you can actually update right on the device if you transferred through something like Windows Media Player. Now the only thing about that is, as you can see, just for 97 songs, the updating time can be, it's not that long, but it's not something you want to do on the go before you want to play a song. It's not very instantaneous. It has to update the library each time afterwards. One interesting part, so as you can see, these are the different examples of the channels. One thing I'm also confused by is why they all seem to start at around 45 seconds, wherever they go. I'm not really sure why. In any case, this channel is actually a rather interesting idea. It's actually based on the time of day, so you actually have morning, midnight, afternoon, and whatnot channels. So and they'll actually change based on the time of day. So that was an interesting little idea. Now the next part we'll look into is the radio, which is, it's pretty standard, but it's nice that you don't have to connect anything else to get this going. So let's see, scan. Just walk through the options for you right there. Sorry about that. You can see I don't use the radio all that much, but it's very easy to scan on the radio, and it locks onto frequencies very quickly. So otherwise no complaints. So if you're a radio user, that's what you got there. This is the intelligent shuffle I talked about earlier. Now the photo library. This is a 2-inch QVGA screen, so it's all right for pictures, and just show you what that might be like right here. It's a bit too bright, so the colors aren't coming right up, but it is an absolutely gorgeous screen. So if you do want to keep pictures on your device, it's a pretty decent way to do so. Of course, it comes with a standard idea for slideshows and whatnot. I gotta get this moving because YouTube will only allow a 10-minute. Video library is pretty simple. I got stuff like, comes with a Quantum of Solace sort of interview here, so play that for you. Video playback I found was quite smooth. I don't have any complaints. It is a small 2-inch screen, but actually I think I could watch a movie on this. And battery life is rated at 10 hours of video playback and 40 hours of music playback, and so far through my testing, I think those are pretty accurate. I haven't had to charge this thing over a week of use, really. And one of the cool things here is that you can delete videos once you're done with them, so that's kind of nice. And over here in the settings, I'll just do a quick walkthrough. It does have a lot of ways to manipulate your music digitally. So one of my favorites was this VPT, which I'll talk about more in the review. But this makes the sound a lot closer, and I love the studio surround. These sound enhancer, the clear stereo and the dynamic normalizer, I did not really find made any difference in my listening experience. But maybe your songs are different there. Video settings are pretty standard. Photo. The common settings here were, it was nice to be able to turn off the beep, because as it doesn't make any sounds, there's no speaker on the Walkman itself, but when you do plug the earphones in, every single click by default will beep, and so you can turn that off, which is great. And finally there's the noise cancelling. right here, which is pretty cool to get to, because you can, sorry, I have to plug the earphones in first. You can actually set the volume of noise cancelling, so I mean how sensitive do you want the microphones to be. And when set to max, I actually am quite impressed with the idea of the noise cancelling here, because it did sort of well, mute a lot of these more bass sounds in my area. And podcasts are pretty standard as well. Just have a Stephen Fry as an example here. And you can fast forward by holding down quite easily. And finally, the now playing list just goes back to what we were playing just now, Stephen Fry. Monday.com for the full written review. Thanks very much.